Collective lab, bitch. Take it to the lab. Top Dance up by the lens. Top Jam, Top
It's called Jurnalysts. I'm from Rustenburg, 014.
What's your name? Where you from? What's your crew?
The name is Imposer Simplicity. The crew is Village Journalists from Rustenburg, Tabani. That was one of the place.
What made you fall in love with hip hop?
The revolution, to keep the conversation going. I think hip hop is the best platform to do.
Well,
Yeah, hip hop teaches us to self-reflect. That's the first important thing. And then you consider other people that are also part of your consciousness around you and in the planet itself that holds life. So for us to be very cognizant in what we're doing and how we're taking care of one another, obviously you start with yourself.
fire. Now, as an artist and as a crew, I know you guys have similar principles and similar agendas, but tell us your agenda as an artist and what Village Journalist as an agenda, gents. It's like, what's the Village Journalist agenda and you as an artist? If it's the same agenda, then fine.
It's in the name. It's journalists. We report what we see, we report what we know, and everything around us is all that. We don't necessarily have same agendas because, in journalism you have different things. It's sports, it's arts, it's politics, it's everything. So sometimes I might be a sports broadcaster. He might be into social issues and all. So it's all in the name, and that's hence the name Village Journalist.
We talk more about social issues, like he said. Majority of the time, we report on things that we're doing, the community that we are from, the challenges that arise, and then we try to marvel it around, creatively in a way that it can inform the people with the message behind. Basically, that's it.
So what would be your top 5 influences in terms of hip hop?
Me, there's to be KRS-One, Jiza, or Arrested Development from way back, definitely, African Bambata, and Master Ace. Yeah.
Okay, I would probably say Immortal Technique, and then the scientific stuff, cannabis, and then KRS-One for the knowledge, and then Master Ace for the streets and the knowledge of MC, and very much.
Okay, tell me, how important is crossing over for you as a collective? Like, how important is crossing over to a mass market in terms of, I know you guys do what would be termed as conscious hip hop or real hip hop, but how important is it for you as artists to reach people outside of the hip hop space, considering the message that you guys are?
Well, it's definitely important. I mean, when I speak to people, you don't actually want to speak to certain type of people. You want to speak to everyone. So like in a family, you have people who love different things. But then if you come in and you want to speak to everyone, you should come with the message that's gonna, encompass everything into it so that everybody else can understand what you are actually trying to say. So it's very important for us.
And to you, Paul, if reaching a mass crowd is very important, do you think as Village Journalists, you guys would dilute or down your sound in order for you to reach a bigger audience? Do you think that is more important, or like what's more important for you, reaching a bigger audience or making sure that your agenda and your sound and your basically what you stand for gets put out there? What's more important to you, reaching people or your agenda?
Our agenda as Village Journalists is very important, because if we dilute the music or how we are doing things, it might just send negative messages to the people in how we are not being true to ourselves first, but yet we are preaching about change that we want to bring, or message or whatsoever edutainment that comes with it, and then people are going to be very, very, very skeptical of things that we're going to be going for.
So tell me, in terms of like you guys in the independent underground crew that's been in the game for a minute, you know what I mean, the Northwest scene, obviously you guys have got people in Joburg as well, but so basically you've dealt with music industry people. Having dealt with music industry people, what would you say are gatekeepers? Are the gatekeepers, first and foremost? And if there are gatekeepers, who are gatekeepers exactly in the industry?
I think it's mainstream, and once you talk about gatekeeping, you're talking mainstream. So nowadays, you know, the internet is large. I mean, you can put your stuff in there, you can reach people that you wouldn't have reached way back. So I think this term gatekeeping is actually for mainstream, where you want your stuff to be played on radio or on TV, where you have people who can take your stuff there and they choose not to for whatever reason. Maybe they want some money or they want whatever they want. So, but then nowadays, man, I think gatekeeping is not that very important, because I mean there are other ways where you can get your stuff across.
Yeah, concept of gatekeeping is just a way of monetizing everything that you are trying to do. If you are packaging, if you are whatever, trying to reach an audience of some sort, you know, and then the information that goes in between that, sometimes is filtered, or the other people that are not getting it at times. So with the information that we have now, with the internet and technology and everything that's going around, we can talk to people like we are doing now. We are talking to a lot of people. There's a lot of people that we're with now, and it shows that we all came here for that, and that it's a good move, that we should stand up for one another in things that we believe in.
Yeah, things are not as rigid like before, when you only had this person to give you a mixtape to play in radio. Now there are certain things that you can do.
Ready to go forward. No, that's fine. So tell us what people can find right now on the internet in terms of Village Journalist music, and going forward, if you guys got solos, whichever way. So what can people find in terms of Village Journalist music, and going forward, what can we expect as a crew, solos and all that?
Okay, Village Journalist, actually we only have one mixtape out. It's only on audio mic. It goes by that Village Journalist. It's called Forgotten Visions.
Forgotten Visions, yes.
And solo, I only have one album out. It's on all these platforms: Spotify, iTunes, whatever. It's called I Know Penalty.
Okay. Now to wrap it up, basically, shout outs and where can people find you?
Okay, you know, rest in peace to Double HP, man. I'm sure he inspired a lot of cats from the Northwest, definitely. And I want to just send shout outs to homies who live in the Village Journalists, a very huge crew.
Yeah, I know it's a very big crew. Now tell me, before we wrap it up, you just mentioned Double HP. Now, the Motswako influence, right? As a Joburger, before I knew about Northwest, first and foremost, Joburg people are ignorant as fuck. We think we're the only ones that have things. So when I found out there's rappers in Northwest, there's rappers in Limpopo, there's rappers in other provinces, as a Joburger, I'm like, oh my god. So now, your sound is literally polar opposite to what they do to Motswako. And not necessarily the rapping technicalities, but the beats, the content. So now, as a Northwest native, why don't you guys do Motswako? And I might be wrong that you do have Motswako, but how big is Motswako in terms of the Northwest? Is it as big as we are told, or was it a thing of a group of 8 to 10 guys that made it popular and made us think the whole of Northwest?
It's actually big. We are doing Motswako. Don't get it twisted. I mean, hip hop is hip hop, but then what we are doing is Motswako in a sense of linguistics, language that we use, we mix it. That's why hence the word Motswako, mixing English and Setswana. So it's huge. I mean, I can say, I don't know, 80% to 90% of rappers from Northwest.
So it doesn't matter in terms of beats, whatever. It's so Motswako. Actually, what is Motswako? Is Motswako being able to rap in Tswana, or is it a certain style? Is it a sound?
I think initially when they started it, it was about the music in it, to mix kwaito and hip hop, or dance music and hip hop. Actually, what Double HP was doing, getting people to dance while like, and at the same time it included the language to say that you're rapping in English and Setswana. But this is what is all about. It's the music itself and the languages.
On fire, man. Now, guys, wrap it up. Where can people find you, Paul? Wrap it up.
Okay, currently right now I'm on Facebook. Go by the name Hope Room. My other account was hacked, but yeah. And then you can also find me on Twitter, Mpoza Simplicity, Mpoza with a double Z, one word, Simplicity. You can also find me on there.
Yeah. Yo, shout out to iCamet, man. Shout out to my man Chronic Sonics who didn't make it. Shout out to Venom Handlock. Shout out to my man Paris. Shout out to Soul Brothers, Iron Fist and Alcalist.
Shout out to Tony.
Yeah. You can find me on Facebook, Skeptic Monk. And shout out to Top Jam Entertainment.
Top Jam Entertainment.
Yeah. Shout out to Collective Labs, Joe Beck. Let's take to the lab, man.
Let's take to the lab, fellas.
Yeah.
Love that.
So, you can find me on Facebook. My real name is Chief Manaka, or you can get my music page, Skeptic Monk. It's there on Facebook as well. Instagram, The Iron God. Twitter, Skeptic Monk. Yeah.
That's it.
Shout out to Let's do this.